What's up? This is a video I promised to be making after my experience seeing Sleep live. I feel almost like I'm hungover, um, very groggy. I don't know if it was all the low frequencies, but I'm feeling like in a daze. I'm gonna try and go to the gym in a little while and knock myself out of it, but I know it's gonna take a while for my ears to go back to normal. So, got out of work yesterday and headed up to Portland, Maine. Actually, I went to Wales, Maine first to pick up my friend. His name's not important. Met him at the surf shop in Wales, Maine, and we were looking at surfboards for a while. Then we drove up to Portland, um, listened to a band called Rishloo on the way up. That's Rishloo. Really good, like a prog metal band, hard to describe. We listened to that on the way up, and then we went to some random kind of grill cafe type place, and I got a coffee actually because I was really tired after work and I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep the night before. So I got a coffee and a beer, and I got pulled pork sandwich, and my friend got lamb kebab and some beers. So prior to going into the show, I have a history with marijuana. It's not as frequently used as it used to be for me. But what I don't have much of a history with is edible marijuana. Prior to last night, I had only taken edibles twice. First time I did 5 milligrams, second time 10 milligrams. This time I doubled that. I continued the doubling, which might be the Fibonacci sequence actually, I don't know. If the next time I do it I take 40 milligrams, then I think, yeah, 5, then 10, 20, 40, then 80. That would, might be a lot. But anyway, so, I don't think it's considered an outrageous dose, but for me, only third time ever taking edibles. So, yeah, I brought a pre-roll joint, which I now realize I should have brought into the show. But anyway, so I ate my two 10 milligram chocolate bars as we're walking over to the show. We get in fairly easy, fairly quick. It was at the State Theater in Portland, Maine, and first time at that venue, and it was big. It was good sized. Looks like it's been there for a while. Really cool vintage architecture. I digged it. I thought it was a really cool venue, and it got the job done. It was big enough. It had a really cool upper balcony that I didn't explore, but it looked really cool. So as soon as I got in on the right-hand side, I wanted to grab a shirt. So I did. I sat in that line, and I actually, Windhand started playing, unfortunately, while I was still in line. But I got to see them while I was in line, which was cool, and I was like, all right, sweet. They are doing very good. They sound great live, and they did. Windhand was awesome. I got a sleep shirt. Should probably grab it and show, but oh well. It's called the Lungsman shirt. It's like a guy with a guitar case walking on some desolate planet. And he's got some smoke coming out of a breathing apparatus. May or may not be THC infused. So I thought that was really cool, and I only actually wore it for a little while. I ended up taking it off because I was so hot in there, and I just wore this. So Windhand started playing, and they were fucking awesome. They were just solid. The drummer mesmerized me. The last song that they played, I actually don't know the name of it, but I want to say their second or first song off of their 2012, I think, self-titled album. It's the one where it's like purple and black, and it shows like wintertime trees, like naked trees. And I think there's a house too on the artwork. But anyway, that was the last song I played, and it was unreal. They brought it down. Windhand probably played for about 40 minutes, and they sounded great live. And I was really getting into it, and um, the edibles were starting to kick in. I think like towards the end of their set, which was perfect. They killed it. As soon as their set was over, I left my friend, who also we met it with two of his friends. So he was kind of with them, and I went down into the onto the floor because we were like, it's a fairly big venue. There's a bunch of seats, and then there's a floor right down in the front. I'm not sure how many it holds. That is pertinent information that I don't have. So as soon as Windhand was over, I was like, I'm going down there for sleep. I went down and placed myself, I would say probably 5 human body rows back from as close as you could get to the stage, right in front of Al Cisneros, the bassist and vocalist. I was right there. And one negative part about the show had nothing to do with the band Sleep. Some girl talked my face off. I will talk to anybody. I'm nice, I'm social, but I don't want to dwell on it too much, but she basically was just talking my ears off and saying the same thing like 300 times, not allowing me to even interject at all, just talking over me, talking at me, basically. I don't know if she was, actually, I don't know if anybody there was sober. Obviously, that's exaggeration, but it's highly likely that she was on some substance. But she was just like saying how much I have to look up this band, Lightning Bolt, who I still haven't had time to look them up that much. I did look up a little bit of them, and I'm interested. Sounds interesting, but no comment yet. I still have to dig deeper. Yeah, so she just kept telling me over and over and over and over again, listening to Lightning Bolt. They are unreal. They will blow your mind. Just listen to them, and I was just like, in the beginning, I was very pleasant with her. I was like talking about Sleep. It's your first time seeing Sleep. Fucking, it's incredible. Do you know this band? Do you know that band? Blah blah blah. And then she just would not get off of that topic, and whatever. So eventually, I couldn't keep acting really interested to hear what she would say. So after a while, I was just like, yes, I will look them up, definitely. And then I even wrote them on my notes app on my iPhone and showed her, look, I'm not going to forget. I will look them up. And she just kept saying, you have to look them up. And I'm like, I will. I'm going to. Like, I won't forget. This will not be something that I forget. You've told me about 4,000 times. I'm starting to think they might be a bad band just because you're such a bad advocator of them, You're making me almost not want to listen to them. But I'm going to. Need not say it anymore. I'll leave that there. Anyway, so I was right in front of Al Cisneros, the bassist. He comes out. No, sorry. So before that, they had like this dialogue that I wish I could hear. I'm pretty sure it was part of the show because it sounded like, like astronauts, like a dialogue between like a NASA person like on Earth talking to an astronaut, like the back and forth. I could hear them a couple times saying Roger this, Roger that, but I'm also not fully sure that it wasn't part of just a sound check. I couldn't actually hear the words they were saying. And also, if it was part of the show, that's super cool. I like that it adds to the atmosphere. 2 things I will say: I wish I could understand the words a little more. But hey, maybe purposely they don't want you to understand the words just because it adds to all the fuzziness of everything. And it went on a little bit too long, I think. It went on maybe 10, 15 minutes, and I couldn't understand a thing they were saying. It was just loud. You could tell it was two people speaking to each other, going back and forth. A conversation, really. But I couldn't make out many or if any of the words. And I asked other people too, and and they're like, no, I can't understand a single thing. Some people was like, it sounds like astronaut talk, and another guy said, yeah, it sounds like they have accents. It was hard to even talk to anybody, obviously. Everything's really loud. So, after all that, the guys are got all their instruments ready, and they've got, everything tuned, and all they have to do to prepare. I'm not sure actually who came out first, but I will describe them. Al Rose came out wearing all black, his hair really long, probably my length, but he has totally different hair than me. But I would say for his hair length, actually maybe even a little bit longer, a fucking awesome, chunky, black beard, long and like not just long and skinny like at one point, but like even the cheeks are long and a fucking awesome graying stripe coming down the front of it. I mean, he looks fucking awesome. Al Cisneros had like a wooden grain looking Rickenbacker bass. Just fucking awesome aesthetic. I mean, just his appearance alone is artistic, I think. Um, so he comes out, Matt Pike, shirtless as usual, huge gut hanging out, tattooed all over, really cool tattoos. He had like a handlebar mustache, super dope. Uh, he had like a sunburst, or like a cherry, more like a cherry burst, Les Paul. Uh, really cool. Um, Huge stacks of orange and I think Marshall amps. Jason Roeder, is that how you say it? The drummer that they got from Neurosis. Jason Roeder, I think that's his name. As far as I could tell, he was just wearing a black shirt and black shorts. Looked kind of standard, short, kind of buzz cut, and more of a beard than me, more thick, but not much longer. Um, so cool. Anyway, immediately they play Dragonaut. That's how they start, and it is just I can control my body, but I allow sleep to control my body at this point. I just go turn into like a slinky almost, just like Dragonaut. You have to look up that song. It's so just it's so bouncy and just and I like how like they'll speed up the beat real quick and then slow it down, and they're just masters of music, and it was phenomenal. And I think they embellished a lot on it. Um, I was so in the moment that it's hard for me to even remember some of this, but I think they played Dragonaut for like 10 minutes, which is no complaints from me at all. I actually remember thinking to myself, holy crap, if not that they're going to do it, but if they made like a Dope Smoker version of Dragonaut, like an hour-long album of just Dragonaut embellishing on it and meandering through different experimental ways, I would be totally cool with that, and I would listen to it 5,000 times over the course of my life. So they did that. Awesome. Then I think, if I can remember correctly, they went straight into Dope Smoker, and it was incredible. They either went straight into Dope Smoker or they went into something else off of Holy Mountain. I can't actually remember now. But at the point, eventually they obviously did play Dope Smoker. It was either the second or third song that they played. Um, and I was like having convulsions almost, The weed was really, really hitting me. And everybody was super into it. It was so cool to see everyone just loving it. Just pure joy on so many people's faces and body language, and people just lighting up joints inside the building, people smoking cigarettes. It was like an experience, like to be there. This is my first time ever seeing Sleep, and I really want to see them again now after that experience. strangers just passing joints to each other. I took a rip off this one guy's joint. Um, I wish I brought mine in. I would have, probably smoked 65% of it and then just said, "Hello, stranger. Here's a joint. 35% of strong weed and a hemp rolled paper. Have it. Do with it what you'd like. Give it to other people. Spread the love." I would have loved to have done that. But I didn't bring the joint in, and I can't dwell on that. I saw people, there was a pit. I didn't actually get involved in the pit. But, I saw people flailing their arms going through the pit with joint in mouth, inhaling. I thought that was so badass. There was people who crowd surfed, mostly just girls. I saw a girl, at least one girl, flash her tits. That's cool. No problems there. Um, so anyway, I started off right in front of Al Cisneros. I was just kind of dancing a lot in my own just way, letting the music take me which way it would. The guitar screeches at times pierced just my spine, and I was like almost like in a paralyzed state. So cool. They made a lot of noises that I've never heard them before. So they're like a true metal jam band. It was awesome. So I was near Al Cisneros, very close up to him for a lot of the beginning. Eventually, I saw a friend of the friend I went with, and I had met this kid before. I didn't know him very well, but anyway, I saw him, fist bumped. He was a little bit like maybe a row or two further back than me, kind of actually straight on, right in between Matt Pike and Al Cisneros, but a little bit closer to Al Cisneros. So from me going back and forth and crowd opening up and you know like swelling up and getting denser and then wider in other places. It was alive. So eventually I did, we saw each other, we connected eyes. I said, "Hey, what's up, man?" So I was over with him for about 5 minutes, and then I just ended up migrating the whole show. I kind of did it like a weird diagonal where I was migrating more towards Matt Pike's side of the stage, and I stealthily avoided the pit. I just wasn't feeling up to it. I did get involved at the pit at the Baroness show that I went to a month ago, which was super awesome. I just, I had a couple beers. I was on 20 milligrams of edibles. I was chilling. I was just jamming out to sleep, and I wasn't. I just want to get involved in the pit. No problem with that. Shouldn't need to substantiate that claim or back it up for any reason. So I stealthily avoided the pit. I kind of was like on the outskirts, and I kept getting closer to Matt Pike, but simultaneously I was getting further and further back, where at one point I was kind of like head on with Matt Pike, but 2/3 of the way back on the floor level, which I'm still very close. But at one point I'm like, hold on a second, I gotta recognize this pattern. I started right in front of Al Cisneros, now I'm at Matt Pike and further back. I'm just gonna hold my ground and stay here for the rest of the show, which I did. That was about halfway through the show. So they played a lot of songs off of Holy Mountain. Loved that. They played The Clarity, which is awesome. Like even just like the intro to The Clarity, where it's almost like that vintage video game sound, like dan 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 dan. And it's like I was trying to time it at certain points, and I was fucking it up at certain points, but it was fun. So they played The Clarity. That was awesome. That's when I probably saw the mosh pit at its most active, was during The Clarity. I saw a lot of action there. As good as the crowd was and as awesome as it was, obviously nothing's perfect. I did see some people doing unnecessary violence. I'm all about getting out aggression and getting out something primal deep in you, but not, being offensive with it, physically offensive. I mean, just teach their own. But yeah, so I saw like some older guy, like trying to like "Hey, dude, come into the pit," which I mean, it's a nice invitation, but don't grab someone and pull them. And even that, I'd just be like, all right, dude, I'm not going in. And that would be it. I wouldn't be that bummed out. But like, I could see it, like a really like lighter person than even myself, just getting dragged in, like maybe might trip, and who knows what could happen. But on the whole, the crowd was awesome. I saw like some 50 to 60-year-old guy going nuts in the pit the whole time, high energy the whole time. I was high energy the whole time, just kind of in my own zone, dancing around a lot. Um, so about halfway through the show, I ended up over near Matt Pike's part of the stage. They played The Clarity, a couple songs off of Holy Mountain. They kept falling back into Dope Smoker, which was dope. They would like, they played Dope Smoker probably for like 10 minutes, and then they would play another song and then fall back into that riff and jam out on that. Um, I loved when they played From Beyond. And the vocals became perfectly clear, like precisionally clear, and so psychedelic with like the delay and reverb on it at one point when Al Cisneros um, said, "Stoner caravan from deep space arrives." I lost my brain when uh, at that part of the song. I do no justice. I can't sing very well, but you get the idea. Listen to him actually sing that song. From Beyond, I think, is my favorite Sleep song, and that solidified it. Listening to Sleep before this show, I always loved Sleep. I like them a lot, and that's why I wanted to see them live. But I don't think anything will ever compare to seeing them live. And I always thought that that was kind of a cliche thing to say. I mean, obviously, people mean it, and it's true, but I never meant it more until after that show. Like, they were so far superior live than actually on recording, and they are awesome on recording, but to relive that experience, I mean, also, I was on 20 milligrams of edible marijuana, which just helps. It's like they advocate it, though, too, so they played From Beyond last, and it was just insane. When they finished, everyone gave them a full. Oh, another cool thing is, okay, what do you get at Sleep? A shitload of fucking potheads. Potheads don't plan ahead sometimes, and even myself, I know for a fact, I had deathly terrible cotton mouth. The worst cotton mouth. I've dealt with some bad cotton mouth before. This was up there with some of the worst cottonmouth I've ever had, but I did not want to leave the floor. I was sticking through there the whole time. Super bad cottonmouth. I need water so bad. About halfway through the show, they start. Some guy just has a bunch of water bottles giving it out. That's so cool. I don't know if that was like the State Theater of Portland, Maine doing that, or if it was Sleep themselves, like part of their roadies doing it. But I am in full support of that, and I really appreciated it. I thought it was so cool that they were handing out water like that. People could pass out, you know. A lot of people are just severely baked at this show, so I thought that was really cool. Thumbs up to Sleep or the State Theater, whoever that was. I totally appreciate it, and you know, they're good to us. We're good to them. So to wrap it all up, they stopped playing, and I didn't leave right away. I just kind of was like in awe. They turned on the lights. I was just looking around, re-observing the um, venue, looking around. I caught eyes with that other kid, my friend of a friend who was up closer. and he never moved. He stayed where he was, and I was like, oh shit, I should have stayed with you, dude. You had, not that I didn't have a great view the whole time, but he had a phenomenal one, and whatever. Should have stayed with him, but no big deal. Um, I had these actually like epiphanies while they were playing. One thought that it's a very high thought, but I will share it with you nonetheless. Um, was I almost think that time is relevant to how fast you think. Sam Harris once said on the Joe Rogan podcast about, I think they were talking about AI um, and computing. Um, and like, I think I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, imagine if we were having a conversation, and for everything you said, in my world, it felt like I had 500 years to contemplate the next sentence I would say. Um, what would be true? Would time be going very slow for me, or I would just be thinking very fast? Like time is a hard thing to grasp as a concept, and that makes it even more blurry, I think, thinking like that. And the reason why sleep brought that into my head was like I was actually picturing like a different species on a different planet, a human-like species, and like for them, time is so slow. Like they live 800 years, and like are wicked smart. But anyway, um, yeah, I had like a couple different just high moments, really just epiphanies, breakthroughs, and it was beautiful. At one point, I was like sure that I need to just double, triple, quadruple to an exponential level down on self-discipline and just make the right choices for my life in the long term. Which uh, time will tell, how much that influenced me. Everything I want to I want to get motivated by multiple sources, and that was just one that really helped me. I mean, when I'm at the gym or rock climbing, playing Dope Smokers, a perfect meditative jam to keep me going. So uh, it's not like they weren't already that, but even more so now, I think. So after the show, we all met up and didn't really. That was basically it. I mean, my friend talked about the show. He actually was more into Windhand. Uh, he wasn't even on the floor for sleep. I think he was in the very beginning. He told me, but he was actually back out in the crowd more. And I texted him. I said, "Dude, go up, check out the view from the balcony. It looks like a really cool vantage point." So overall, it was so great that I would love to see Sleep again. I would love to see Sleep again. They played Boston House of Blues in 2014, and I think that's just when I was getting into Sleep for the first time, unfortunately. And I just must not have looked them up at the time, which is really unfortunate, but the style of music they play, they'll be able to do that for a while. It's not like super, super, super high energy that can't be maintained. It's not like when you're 30, your basketball career starts heading downstream. They're going to be able to rock the hell out into their 60s. So it's very likely I'll see them again, and even more than once. So would love to. Would love to see Windhand again. They were phenomenal. Sleep probably played for like 2 hours. Windhand played for maybe 40 minutes. So I'm very satisfied with the fact that Sleep played more, even though I love Windhand as well. My next show should be Opeth and the Sword. I think that's the next show. I kind of wanted to see Dinosaur Jr. and Jane's Addiction play, but I just don't know if enough of my friends are committing to it, and tickets are $100. I would like to go, but if I don't, it's not the end of the world. But I definitely think I'm seeing Opeth and Sleep. I mean, Opeth and the Sword, which will be awesome. I'm going to see them, the House of Blues in Boston in October, and shortly after that, also in October, also at the House of Blues, I want to see Streetlight Manifesto, so I should be making videos about those as well. So, have a great life.